Hello my classmates. My name is Adam from 2 as 1 and I have been ordered producing an illustrative video about peace, so I present to you this short video, and I hope you like it. Peace, which is a common feeling among peoples, is a state of safety and tranquility. So many countries and personalities seek to spread peace in the world through speeches and in other ways. Such as Yuri Afri, Fenner Brockway, and Ahmed Iqbal. But however, there are many manifestations of disturbance of peace, like the war. War is a phenomenon of organized collective violence that happened between two states or two societies, and it is through armed fighting. Because of a difference in races or religions, the first disagreement over something, like Islam, Christianity, Judaism, and Buddhism. There will be enormous damage without mentioning the displacement of families and the victims of wars like Syria and Palestine, as mentioned in this video.
The UN has expressed fears of a full-scale war as the deadly conflict between Israeli forces and Palestinians continues for a third day. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu warned Palestinian militants that this was just the beginning, threatening to strike with blows they haven't dreamed of. Tonight, President Biden said he had spoken to Mr. Netanyahu and said he hoped the violence would end sooner rather than later. At least 65 Palestinians, including 15 children, and 6 Israelis are reported to have been killed since Monday. In the past few days, Palestinian militants have fired a mass barrage of rockets into Israel, including on Tel Aviv. And Israel has carried out a heavy bombardment of Gaza, launching hundreds of airstrikes. Tensions have been growing in Jerusalem, partly fueled by a long-running threat to evict Palestinians from their homes in East Jerusalem.
The world's asking if the region's on the brink of war. People who work to this feel it's already here. Palestinians in Gaza face the fiercest Israeli bombardment since the last all-out conflict. Israel says it's going after militant leaders. Some were killed in their homes. But civilians died in this strike, say Palestinian health officials. In Gaza, a territory under blockade, grief quickly turns to anger.
واحد حلاج وواحد واعي هل انتصف لا انتصف مقاوم ولا انتصف واحد مسؤول احنا مدنيين نايمين بدورنا.
Dozens have died here since the violence erupted on Monday, and they're still counting their dead. Rocket fire from Gaza has continued deep into Israel, and the sirens are near non-stop in towns close by.
2,000 Palestinians and dozens of Israelis dead. That's the last time there was an explosion of violence on this scale. So what's been the international response? One of growing alarm. The UN Secretary-General said peace talks were the only way forward and must be revived. Boris Johnson and the Americans urged Israelis and Palestinians to step back from the brink.
We believe Palestinians and Israelis equally deserve to live with safety and security. And we'll continue to engage with Israelis, Palestinians, and other regional partners
As we saw earlier, the Palestinians ain't suffering, and riots still abound in their country.
Along the coast, a popular Arab restaurant comes under attack. In another mixed town, a Jewish man is beaten by Arab Israelis. A synagogue has also been torched. Israel's leader calls it anarchy. A wave of anger that started in Jerusalem has spilled out to the occupied territories and into Israel itself. The country's engulfed in multiple flashpoints. It may be too late to contain it now.
Thus, the most affected are women and children, as in this video.
Many left husbands, brothers and sons behind. Now they're preyed on by men, roaming free in a lawless place.
مش خوف، رعب. حياة رعب عشت بالخيمة. ولا كل الناس نايمة إلا أني ما أقدر أنام. لأذان الفجر أضل.
And this is what they're afraid of.
خطفوا كثير بنات. خطفون وشغلوهن. 3 بمخيمنا انخطفوا. وإجوا لين رجعهم بمخيمنا. الشباب اللي أرادنا يجوا بتحرشوا بالسوريات من 7 ل6 سنين. بدهم يخطفوهن ويطلعوهن لبرا. فحتى الطفل الجد هاي عم بتحرشوها.
A trip to the toilet at night is now too terrifying for many women in this part of the camp.
طبعا انا باجي مع بنتي وبضل احكي لها بالضبط انها تطلع للحمام، ما فيش اضويه، تيجي عتمه بالليل. يعني تقدر تفوت على الحمام، يجوز واحد نفسه ضعيف يفوت، يعني اسال اختها هي واحده تقدر تفوت ما تقدرش. انا مره كبيره متجوزه وعندي اولاد والاشتراك، ما استرجيش اجي على الحمام لحالي. عندي بالعشره معاش استرجاعي خلص.
The men come mainly from Saudi Arabia and other Gulf states. In the guise of donors, they offer charity, but in return, demand a wife. But these are marriages of convenience, for the men at least, often lasting just a matter of weeks or even days. Abu Sanad is a father of 2 girls.
يعني بدل ما قلت بيجيني شياب من برا اللي أرادنا، بيجوا شباب من برا من السعودية من قطر، بدكم تزوجوا بناتكم، بدكم تزوجوا ما بعرف شو. يعني شو شايفين احنا مثل ما بقولوا هلا في سوق بيع، يعني سوق غنم. يعني شو انتم شايفين ما معنا فلوس، يعني خلاص بدكم تستغلونا. والله اعطيني جوزني بنتك مثلا 200,000 او 100,000 او 50,000 ليرة سوري، يعني ما بطلعناش 100 دينار او 150 دينار او 200 دينار او 300 دينار. استغلال للعالم.
السعودي قال لي بعيشك أميرة وأنا ما قبلت. حتى مساعدته يعني انه ما عادش بدي منك اي شيء، بس انه اقبل مني هاي المساعده ما بدي اقبلها.
Lama, a divorced woman with children, says she was forced to flee Za'atari after relentless pressure to marry. We found her in a safe house outside the camp in Amman. She told us after she repeatedly refused many propositions, her tent was burnt down.
في بنات بيقبلوا للزواج، في بنات بيكونوا يعني كمان معانين بسبب الحرب وهالاشياء هاي، فبيكونوا بحاجه انه حدا مثلا يستر عليهم او شيء او هاي، بيكون شخصيته مثلا ضعيفه وبحاجه يعني ماده او بحاجه ملاذ.
Not only women but children too.
20,000 people have died. Today, the country is facing a humanitarian crisis, with children as young as 12 taking up jobs and working in hazardous conditions to support their families and to put food on the table. Our next report tells you more.
These visuals are hard to watch. This is 12-year-old Amir. He is carrying a bag full of coal to the edge of a water reservoir. Amir belongs inside a classroom, but he has been forced to work at an oil refinery near Al-Bab to support his family. The war in Syria has destroyed his future prospects.
My name is Amar Al-Shaiban and we fled 8 years ago. I work here at the oil refinery to support my family. 4 of my siblings were killed by the regime. We have debts, so I have to work here. It's not in my hands. I'm not going to school and don't want my siblings to work. I work summers and winters in the refinery to support my parents.
Another young boy, Muhammad, works at a scrapyard. The 15-year-old orphan has been working since the age of 9 for a basic foundry where he helps melt metal and breathes in toxic black fumes daily. There are more heartbreaking stories such as these. Children forced out of classrooms and into jobs involving dangerous working conditions. According to the UNICEF, an estimated 2.5 million children in Syria are out of school, with another 1.6 million at the risk of dropping out. Poverty is the primary reason for this, with many children as young as 7 recruited to fight in Syria's decade-long conflict.
It's been 2 years that I don't go to school and I work here at the workshop welding with a blowtorch. So I'm absent from school for 2 years now. In 3 years, I've learned how to work at the blacksmith. Every week, I earn 60 liras, which goes towards the household expenses.
These young teens are taking up jobs to prevent their younger siblings from suffering a similar fate. While there is no official data on child labor rates in Syria, the pandemic has worsened the economic crisis in the country. Statistics show that 9 out of 10 children in Syria live in poverty. In more heartbreaking accounts, while some children dream of returning to classrooms one day, others have given up on their dreams altogether.
I dream of carrying a pen and a notebook and going to school. That is better than the furnaces, the diesel, and the smell. I dream to play with my friends at school, to study like the others, to learn. But it's been 4 years now that I work at the oil refinery.
That is why some civilians immigrate illegally to escape from the painful present.
We'll rescue all of you.
So we say, stay calm, we're taking you to Italy, you're all going to be fine. It's like the single most important thing, because if people are calm, everything is done in a much safer way.
We could have used the small rescue boat we had, but it can only fit 3 more people, and in addition to the crew that's already on it, you know. So it would take forever, basically, if we didn't take it alongside.
And I stayed on the seaside, staying on the rib to continue that conversation and to keep people calm.
Calm, not long time.
And at that moment, when you have that connection, I would feel calmer and think, okay, it will be fine. Then it turned out everything was not so fine.
In the beginning, things seemed to be working fairly well. People were coming one by one, more or less, steadily, but there was some fighting, but okay, I mean, people were still coming off the boat.
It's like a split second. It goes from being calm, and you think you have a connection with people, and then you can just see they go into survival mode, and you just go for it.
That is why we must adhere to tolerance, reconciliation and peace. At home. At school. And in our society. And stop racism. And tolerance races. This is the end of the video. I hope you liked it. Do not forget to support me on my YouTube channel.
يا صفقوا شكون تستناو عطيتوني غير يومين باش نمونطاجي هذا الفيديو الاسطوري وزيدوا ما تصفقوش صفقوا واستاذ عايشك شما تزيديني شويه نقط يرحم والديك عايشك.